Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Bulgarian workout. And you guys can see this is gets pretty monotonous. This is the reason many people can't stick out this form of training. Number one, they haven't built a strength base. Number two, the sheer boredom of it. Number three, people get too psyched up. Now, barring Jamie Lewis and Aaron Bugenhagen, most people who do any sort of daily training like this, heavy training 7 days a week, psychological arousal is your enemy. And also, it's been pointed out, too much volume is your enemy. Everything needs to count. You need to make everything count. So in this case, this is what gets people, the boredom of it. I mean, I come in, I do about 4 lifts every day to a relatively heavy single training max, ideally RPE 9. And we do it day in and day out. Now, I did have a few people come in, some kids come in and say, well, I think I can lift more than you. I'm like, okay, but can you do it every day? Meaning, okay, so you claim you can squat whatever. Can you hit my depth? Can you do it without grinding? And can you do it every day for 3 weeks straight? In other words, if you say you can squat an amount of weight, I want to, drop it down and film it every day. Then come back and talk. Because it's one thing to be able to squat 500 pounds, right? It's another thing to squat 500 pounds every day for weeks on end. You need to understand the difference. This is about consistency. This sort of training is about consistently lifting these heavy weights over and over and over, day in and day out, using enough movement variations to keep yourself strong, to avoid staleness, to break through plateaus. But it's a grind, and it's doing this stuff day in and day out. And this sort of training is not for everyone. Now, the 440, hell, it felt better than yesterday. This one felt better than yesterday, and I've got to start looking at, it's not going to be that long before I get into next week, and I need to go up another 5 pounds on my minimum, right? Because that's what we want to do. If we want to ideally put 5 more pounds on this every single week, even in this fatigued condition. Right, even the fatigue condition. This one felt a little grindy, but when I timed it, it came to 1.98 seconds on the concentric. I'm happy with that. What I think I'm going to do after this, though, it's time to start doing some GPP work. I need to start rotating in barbell complexes. I feel like I can at least power snatch light enough weight, which means I can do some complexes where maybe I do a snatch, then an overhead squat, then a push press, then a power clean, then a front squat, then a Pendlay row, then a deadlift. Rest a minute and then repeat it. Now I've got enough exercise variation I can do standing. I feel like I could benefit from that because I'm at a point now where it's time to start slowly working down some of this body fat. I really can't get any fatter than I am right now. And let's just be realistic here. And it's not about caring about how I look. I really don't care that much. I don't care. You guys see a little bit of my fat rolls there when I sit up. So what? See, I don't care. I'm confident. I'm secure in that. Sex with my girl every day. I don't care. But will I be healthier if I start leaning out more? Yeah. Would I be a better strength athlete if I get a bit leaner? Yeah. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about, guys. About fitness and athleticism. And I know that I am not in my top form. Not in my top form. Fortunately, we're at a point now that I'm getting into this system, I'm adapting to the workload, I can get away with doing that a little bit. Since I'm probably, not even probably, I'm over 20% body fat. Let's be realistic here. I can lose fat and gain strength as long as I'm willing to lose the fat really slowly and pay very close attention to what I'm doing, right? If we pay close attention to what we're doing, I can start slowly easing down the body fat. We tighten the diet up a hair more, throw in a little bit of strength-based GPP work so that we maybe get a little bit of recomp to add to this training, and just pay attention to everything and adjust as I go. Fortunately, you can do that. Now, you're not going to pull that stuff when you're 12% body fat. Best of luck with that. But when you're over 20, you can get down into the teens while gaining strength. It's totally doable. That's doable without a bunch of drugs. So it's time to start working conditioning work back in, because I cut all my cardio out to start this program. I had to. My legs couldn't handle the daily squatting with all the less cardio. So now we need to start doing some strength-based conditioning work that can induce a little bit of hypertrophy, get that little bit of metabolic work in, and start working on improving body composition as I slowly work up my strength on this. All right, and I think that needs to be done. It needs to be done for my health, if nothing else. Let's just be realistic. It's not healthy to carry too much body fat and body weight, and that's the point too. Even if I trim down to 12% body fat, I'm still going to be overweight on the charts due to muscle, bone, and everything else. So we've got to start looking at that. It's time to ease the conditioning back in. It just needs to be done. There we go, 305. Pause, close grip. It was much cleaner than yesterday. I'm happy with that. Because, again, my biceps are hurting a little bit, I decided to change it up, give them a couple days of break from the weighted pull-ups, and just do some Pendlay rows. I wasn't real happy with the form on these. I stopped at 265 because I felt it was sloppy. I was going to go ahead and go up, and I'm like, why? That 265 was sloppy. Yeah, I know I can do over 300, but you know, what's the point if I'm going to have to cheat on it? This is supposed to be a strict exercise. And now that I'm filming myself with it, even this ramp up, this 265, was about as much cheating as I'm comfortable doing on a Pendlay. So I just stopped there. I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. As long as we got a little bit of the movement pattern in. Because that's what matters, is just keeping a little bit of variation on a heavy movement pattern. So that, again, we don't detrain anything as far as biceps and lats and stuff go. And I need to get ready because next week my trap bar is going to be here, and I'm going to start trap bar pulling. So I better get myself ready. Oh, my other stuff came in today, though. I do have a dipping bar. I've got plate holders for the side of the rack. I got some extra grip training stuff. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited. Because, again, that's the stuff we're going to need to well round everything out. I've got enough equipment to really do a wide variety of max effort exercises and conditioning work. Because if I have to, I can take my trap bar outside, do some farmer's carries if I have to, right? I mean, make do with what you have. Learn to be creative. Learn to be creative. We stopped here at 205 today. It was hard enough. It was hard enough. I know it's a lot of daily minimums on pressing, but I'm doing so much 2 exercises a day on pressing. That's the way it's going to be. And I think because I'm feeling a little stale with the benching, I'll assess if next week I want to work in half of my bench press days, which are 6 days a week, work in an exercise variation. I have dipping bars now, so I could do weighted dips, I could do pin presses, I could do floor presses. So I've got other variations that I can put in to work all this stuff. So I'll figure out what I want to do with it, because I might need to go ahead and run some 3-week blocks of some variation just to avoid staleness and get some novel training stimulus, because I think we need that, because I feel like my pressing in general is stagnating a little bit at this moment. I'm just hitting all these daily minimums. Now, it could be partially adapting to the higher frequency of pressing. It could be that. But if that's the case, I should adapt shortly and strength should start going up. But it doesn't seem to be doing that just yet. So I might need to decide what to do with that next week. And then we'll have 3 different presses being rotated through about 9 different max effort lifts every week. And that might give us the new training response that we want. Because that's what you got to balance out, guys. With this style of training, there's always that fine balance between specificity of training and exercise variation, along with novel training stimulus. At the end of the day, why are we doing this training style? Because we want to get as strong as possible. And getting as strong as possible means strong at everything, right? I need to be strong at chin-ups, overhead pressing, all sorts of presses, not just the bench. I need to be strong at all pulling, not just the deadlift. Now, squatting is all around strength, so that's fine. But that's the point, guys. We want to be strong. And a system like this allows for the development of maximum strength through all the movement patterns, if you do it right. And that's what I want. I don't want to be just a power lifter. I want to be a strong guy. I don't want to just be strong for a guy in my 40s. I want to be strong. I want someone to say, that guy's just strong on the deadlift, right? Or strong on the chin-up. I don't want that. I want to be strong, guys. Let's get strong. I think we should all go ahead and just get strong. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.